Yeah, I said it. This is the best $100 that I've ever lost, and I'm going to tell you why. This is J6.4 OPKEE Investors. Yeah, no, I'm not crazy, but I've got to give you a little backstory. So we, as a collective, we decided to give this one EA a shot and communicate with the developer, because sometimes we want to communicate with the developer to see if we can private label it so we can bring the price down or come up with some sort of deal for our membership and people who join our SRG group. So guy said, yeah, he'll entertain it. So of course, we've got to test it first. The back tests were absolutely amazing. So we decided, since he said you can start with as little as $100, we skipped everything else. We threw the $100 in. And as you can see right here, the balance was July 7th. We had $103. And as of today, which is 7/23, we have $3. So we lost $100 pretty quick on that. Are we upset about it? Hell no. This is why I love trading with $100 and keeping all the emotion out of it. Do you know how much time and money this thing saved me? Because this is something that we were looking at putting on to from 1,000 to a $5,000 account, and of course, bringing down the risk settings as long as it was transparent and the back test was accurate like the live account. So let me show you what this thing looks like. If you look at this, guys, we had 1, 2, 3 losing trades. The losing trades, we already know, is 10 times more than the winning trades. I know conventional wisdom says different, but some of these have actually been pretty successful. That's why we use $100 to $500 on testing. Real money, that is. Here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 winning trades, 3 losing trades. Pay attention. Now, with the strategy back test, this exact EA during the exact time period, and we put this 7/6 to 7/23. So, we're trying to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. And also, this is the high risk. Remember, guys, we always say $100, 100% in, and we use the highest setting that the back test allowed us to do. But look at this one. The results were a little bit different. Started it, and it's actually went to 116, 0. Listen again, 0 losses. Let's look at the report. So with that $100 over those 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, we gained $16, which is 16%. Great EA on paper on the strategy tester, but it was nothing like that. So I learned a new term from someone who was much smarter than myself, and that's called history reader. Anyone who's programming these EAs, they can allow you to back test these things. So I back tested, right? But they have a program inside of the program that will eliminate the losses or most of the losses during a strategy back test. How do we know something like that happens? Easy. Take the real EA, attach it to a real live account, and see how it acts, how it performs right next to the strategy tester. So we have 2 running at one time. We'll let it go for a week, look at all the trades, then we'll strategy back test it for that exact same week and see if there's similarities. Of course, we'll let things slide like if there's slippage, because live data is a little bit different. Volatility is a little bit different. What else is a little bit different? Spreads may be a little bit different. So we allow for those things. But this is definitely what they call a history reading within the program itself. And guys, I want to answer this question for you too, because I have one of my buddies, he just said, so why did you just put real money in there that quickly? Because it's actually saving me money and time, because either I'm going to have to take the time to figure it out, or I can pay someone and pay for someone to take that time element off my hands. So me knowing in 3 weeks if the real one worked, was worth it. Let me give you an example. This is our process. So what does it look like? Let's look at the total blueprint. And this is the blueprint that you can download from the Patreon group, and that's the free Patreon group if you want a little bit more detail on what we do and how we do it. First thing we do is we get all the submitted robot signals and or traders. That's where the OPKEE comes in, right? Other people's knowledge, expertise, and effort. From there, we go to looking for live trading history. Is there anyone else that's utilizing this that can give us some indication that it's working, right? So we can look at MQL5, my FX book, and or investor passwords. After that, if that's a yes, then we'll go to strategy backtest. So we will strategy backtest it under different risk sets, different brokers, different time periods, different data sources. So there's quite a few things that we can do. Now, sometimes we'll skip that. Now, most of the time we won't, but sometimes we will skip it. Then we'll forward test it on a demo. Now, this is where the time factor comes in. So if I put it on a demo account, and I would advise everyone to put it on a demo account because you're not at the point where you will lose investment yet. But I will forward test some of these things, and I call those my bench EAs, bench. Um, and that's $100 to $1,000 account. We're using news filters. We'll exclude news filters. We'll use different set files, so we can learn a lot there. And then we will forward test it with real money, with a minimum amount that it takes to get the type of information that we need. And those can be the tiny accounts. If someone says that we can do this with $50, we're going to put $50 in there. If $1,000 is, and we may back test it with a little bit less. But what the decider factor will be is what were the drawdowns, and can we get away with less, with no expectations whatsoever? Because that's what kills us is expectation. And then, of course, we go to our mental mindset. So I skip here. If I don't have that much time and I'm busy, time is money. So I would rather just go ahead and throw $100 in there instead of waiting a month or 2 months or 3 months. Throw $100 in there, compare that with the strategy back test, and then I'm either done or not done. This was absolutely worth it because I was already getting hyped. My mental mindset and expectations for this particular one was that, hey man, we're going to be ready to rock and roll on that. But it ends up being totally rejected. Also, I have the 5-minute checklist here, and of course, some of the resources which have been updated. So, guys, I'm telling you, it's not always bad to lose your account. If I had $1,000 in there, it saved me $1,000. It saved me $5,000 because I found out everything I needed to know with $100. Best $100 I ever lost. Peace. Go out there and make some real money.